Hi, it's Jen. Today I wanted to share with you something that I found at the thrift store. It was this box of bottle caps. And when I came across it, I remembered a few years ago where it was all the rage where people would use and decorate with bottle caps. Well, when I saw this, and I never really got into it because I live in a smaller town, and anytime I would order things, I always had, you know how you have other things that you'd want to get first? Well, I saw these and I thought, well, I'm going to give it a try because I bet you I could use them in my junk journal for different things. And so what I did when I got home, and we all know what they look like, but this is the inside and then this is the top. When you put them in your big shot, because when you put them in books and stuff, you'd want them flat like this. And so what you do is you put them in your big shot and you just roll them through, and they roll with ease. There's no fighting with it or anything. And then once you roll them through, they come out nice and flat. And so I did all of these as soon as I got home because I wanted to make sure that they were ready for whenever I wanted to make things with. So this jar, I was just going to quickly mention, this is like a vintage, I don't think it's vintage, but it's a restaurant sugar jar. And I had got a few of these at a secondhand store when a few years ago somebody had mentioned to use them for twine, and that didn't work out for me, so I kept the jars and now I'm using them for ephemera. So now they're the bottle caps are all flat in there. That way they're ready to use whenever I need to use them. And so I did put, just to quickly mention before I go on, I did put 12 bottle caps on my Big Shot platform when I ran them through, so that way it didn't take me very long. So you can get, you could get 15 on it, but they were starting to fall and stuff, so I just stuck with 12. But these bottle caps, as you can see, they have that plastic on the inside, and if you buy them for crafting, they don't have this plastic, it's just all metal. But I knew that I could use glossy accents because this glue helps anything stick to whatever. And so I used it inside of here and everything stuck beautifully. And so what I did, my first one, I was going to share what I created with my first one. You do need to have a 1-inch circle punch, and the paper that I used for this, I had wanted to use my scrap paper up, and so in part of my scrap paper is I'm selling these pockets over on my Etsy, and I just punched out right here where there was lace and ribbon and whatnot, and then that way you don't really have to do too much decorating. And so I just inked around the edges and then I glued it down. Now when I glued mine down, just so you know, I just put glue right in the middle here so that way it wouldn't seep out on the edge. And it worked really nice. And so after that, I punched a hole. I'll show you from the back. I punched the hole right in the center, in the middle here, at the top. And I used my crocodile, and I used the 1/8 hole punch, the smallest one. And then I just tied some muslin that was tea dyed, and I put this key, this sweet little key in there. I got it in part of one of my swaps that I've done, and I just thought this turned out so cute. And if you go look up how people decorated with these, there's a lot of good YouTube videos. I don't want to put glossy accents all over the top of mine. I'm a very tactile person, and in a junk journal, I want to keep mine just flat. But if that's your preference, you do you, but I really like that. Well, then I was thinking, what if I used some cheesecloth in there all around the edges? And I did. It's okay. I mean, this one's not my favorite. The paper that I used is, I used a scrap paper from the Vintage Rose printout pocket on my Etsy. And I'm okay with the cheesecloth. It's not my favorite. I like it more plain. And then, so I thought today I would make one with you. And just before we make one, I was just going to show you how I would use them. You can use these as tabs in your book. I would just use your Glossy Accents glue, and you can put them as tabs for in your junk journal. And I thought, or if you don't want to as tabs, you can just put them at the top and just glue them, and then you can put them wherever on a page that you would like. And so what I wanted to show you is you can take one of these pins. I've heard them called so many different things, but I think they're called tailor pins. And you can just put this at the back here where we threaded our muslin. You can put it through, and then now you can put it at the top of tags. Or do you know how we make ruffles all the way down the side of our page? You can just pin this to a ruffle to the side of your page. I think that would be really sweet. But how I'm going to be using this one in my journal is I rusted a paper clip, and I'm going to just slip this on the same way I put that bulb pin. And now you have a sweet little paper clip. And I'm going to put it right here. And you can have this sticking out. And I don't know, I just think it's so adorable. And then now when I shut it, that can stick out as well. So I thought I would make one with you today. And I did stuff with cheesecloth. I did stuff with just the paper. And so now I wanted to do one where I added different materials. I was going to add some lace and some ribbon, and so it's a little bit more 3D. So I'm just going to put some glue in the center here. I don't want too much because when I just put it in the middle here. When I've done it before, I've put way too much and then it seeps out everywhere. And then I just, now when it has that, when it has that plastic in the middle, it does make your paper move around. I'm just trying to center it here. All right, looks good. I think so, yeah. And then what I got was some thread. So with this one, I got some blue sewing thread, and I just balled it up, and I'm going to put it down first, right here. Just kind of tweak it, move it around. You'll notice that when I decorate in my junk journals, I do use a lot of thread. I don't know what it is about thread. I just love the look of it all bunched up and balled up. And then I just put my thread there. Haven't added any glue yet. And then now I'm going to add a piece of ribbon. And then here's where I add my glue. I just put a big dot in the middle. And then I'm going to take my paper piercing tool and just pat down. And then what I have to put on it, this is a piece from a vintage hanky with a little bit of crochet lace on it, and I thought that would be really sweet to lay right on top, but I'm going to cut some of that. I don't know if I should cut some of that off. It's a shame to cut it off because there's beauty in the... Oh, there we go. We'll just do that. Oh, I like that. I'll just put a little bit more glue. I gotta be careful because there is a lace there and I don't want glue seeping out everywhere. And then I have just a mother of pearl button just tied with some twine here, and I'm going to put that just right in the middle. I thought that would be sweet. These buttons are so pretty. Every time I find one I get so excited in my button box. Alright, and there we go. And then as I was playing with these, I was thinking about what else I can do. And just a quick thing I wanted to add in before I go on. I use this clip to hold down buttons if I have like a bigger button or thicker material. As I was playing with these, I found that this really held on to my project really well, and it didn't really move anything. So I'll just stick this in here for a minute or two, and then that way it holds the button down and then it's really stuck on. And so as I was playing with these and I saw the shape, here's another one I made of the round one. I had these doilies sitting out on the side of my desk, and that's one of the reasons why I like to have clear glass and things open, because when you see things, that's when you start to get some ideas. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I could put that in the middle. But then I thought, well, what if I added material here to make a medallion? And so that's what I did. And I just think these would be sweet medallions in our junk journals. And I have to just mention this. This one has a vintage button. It is a wooden button that was painted and it's chipping all around it. I just think it's so beautiful. I just thought, oh, it's just gorgeous. So how I put this in my journal was, I'll just move this off to the side. I put it here at the top. Now this piece of material, if you're interested to know, it's 6.5 inches long. Is it 6.5? Yes. 6.5 inches long and 3/4 of an inch wide. And then I just make the tails how you want. You can make them longer, you can do whatever you like. I just kept them the same length, and then I put the bottom piece at the very top of my paper, and then I put this medallion piece a little bit lower, but I did want it sticking off my paper because I like things peeking out. And then I did a zigzag stitch right across, right on the paper, so that way it's securely down. And I think this medallion looks sweet just on its own. And I'm tempted just to leave it as it is, but I could also add this button as well. This button is probably securely down there. Don't those look so sweet? So I just wanted to share with you something small today. I came across that and I thought I would take it home to play, and I remembered seeing stuff in the past about these bottle caps, but never had the opportunity to play with them. So I hope you give these a try. They were super fun, and also these medallions, just as they are just super sweet. And as well as using them as paper clips in our journals. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, don't throw away your junk. Let's journal with it. Take care, guys.